Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to what's going on around the league lately, you know that the Cleveland Browns are in a pretty interesting spot right now. I mean, the buzz around the team has been intense, especially after their recent preseason game against the Carolina Panthers, where rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders really caught everyone's eye. He went out there and threw for 138 yards, completing 14 of 23 passes with 2 touchdowns. That's quite a start for a rookie, especially considering the circumstances. It's no secret that expectations were already high for Shedeur, given his impressive college career and the hype surrounding his draft selection. The Browns, surprisingly, moved up in the draft to pick him in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft, which caught many fans and analysts off guard. Drafting Sanders was seen as a bold move, especially because they had already taken Dillon Gabriel 2 rounds earlier, and of course, Kenny Pickett is the presumed starter. So right away, you could see that the Browns are creating a bit of a quarterback competition, even if it's early days. But of course, the excitement was short-lived. Just as Shedeur was starting to show what he could do, things took a turn. Earlier this week, during practice, Sanders strained his oblique. Now, oblique injuries are no joke. They can linger, and players often need weeks to fully recover. Typically, you're looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks before a player can get back on the field at full strength. That's significant, especially for a young quarterback trying to carve out a spot in Cleveland's crowded quarterback room. And right now, the Browns are in a tricky spot because Sanders, despite his impressive preseason debut, is still listed as the number 4 quarterback on the depth chart. That's a tough place to be, especially when the team is trying to figure out its offensive rhythm and develop chemistry with the starters. Now, this injury puts Sanders' immediate involvement in the regular season in question, but more than that, it raises the bigger issue of what the Browns' plans are for him moving forward. The fact that he's behind Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and even Joe Flacco on the depth chart means that unless something unexpected happens, he's not going to be rushing into game action anytime soon. And this completely shifts the narrative about his future with the team. It's not just about a rookie making a splash in preseason anymore. It's about how the Browns manage his development and what they see in him long-term. Let's pause here for a moment. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now, diving deeper into what this means for the Browns, we have to consider the overall quarterback situation. Cleveland has been searching for stability at this position for quite some time. Fans remember the days when Johnny Manziel and Brandon Weeden were trying to fill that role. Let's not forget how that era was filled with ups and downs, mostly downs, right? Fast forward to today, and the team still hasn't found that franchise quarterback that can consistently lead them deep into the playoffs and contend for a Super Bowl. They've gone through a few names, Deshaun Watson being the most notable recent addition, but even that has brought its own set of challenges. Now, with Sanders down, the spotlight is still on the veterans and the established starters. Kenny Pickett, who has NFL experience, and Dillon Gabriel, who was drafted ahead of Sanders, remain the primary options. What's interesting here is the perspective from NFL analysts and insiders, like Armando Salguero from Outkick, who recently shared his thoughts on the situation. According to him, it would take some truly unusual circumstances for Sanders to jump into the mix this season. His reasoning is simple. Joe Flacco, with his veteran experience, would need to underperform significantly for the Browns to consider turning to Sanders. And even if they wanted to do that, the reality is, Sanders might not be the next man up, at least not this season. Salguero pointed out that the Browns have historically been patient in developing their quarterbacks, but they've also been somewhat unlucky or inconsistent in finding the right fit. For Browns fans, that historical context hits close to home. You've been waiting for that true franchise quarterback for decades now. Remember the hopes pinned on guys like Johnny Manziel, or the brief flashes of potential from guys like Brandon Weeden. Even the recent years with Baker Mayfield brought hope, but ultimately left many fans wanting more. Now, with Deshaun Watson in the mix, fans are trying to figure out if he's the long-term answer. But his recent struggles and the injury situation complicate things even further. The team's coaching staff and management are in a delicate position. They need to develop their young talent, like Sanders, but also have to ensure they're competing at a high level right now. And this is where the Browns' philosophy becomes so fascinating. They're known for being patient and pragmatic, but the NFL is a results-driven league. If Sanders can't recover quickly or show marked improvement when he gets his chance, the team might have to consider other options. On the flip side, if he does bounce back strongly, his future could be very bright. That said, right now, he's behind a veteran like Flacco, who has been around the league for years and knows how to manage games and make smart decisions. Looking ahead, it's also worth noting that even if Sanders does return from his injury, he will still have to battle for playing time among the other quarterbacks ahead of him on the depth chart. It's a tough road, especially for a rookie, but it's not impossible. The Browns have shown a willingness to develop young quarterbacks, and if Sanders continues to impress in practice and shows growth, he might get his shot later in the season. But for now, the focus is on managing his injury and seeing how quickly he can get back to full health. This whole situation also shines a light on the broader context of the Browns' recent seasons. Cleveland has been a team that's been close, but just not quite there yet. Every year, fans hope that the next season will be the one where everything clicks: the offense, the defense, the coaching staff getting everything aligned. And while they've made some moves that show ambition, like acquiring Watson and drafting promising players, consistency has eluded them. The quarterback position, in particular, has been a roller coaster. From Weeden to Manziel, from Mayfield to Watson, the Browns have been searching for a stable, franchise-caliber signal caller. Now, with Sanders on the sidelines due to injury, the spotlight is on the veterans, and whether they can step up and lead the team to a winning record and playoff appearance. Joe Flacco, with his experience, might be called upon to provide stability, but fans are eager to see if someone like Sanders, once healthy, can eventually compete for that starting role and bring a new energy to the team. It's a storyline that's still unfolding, and it's one that Browns fans should keep a close eye on as the season approaches. In terms of expectations for the upcoming season, everyone's wondering whether Cleveland can finally break through that glass ceiling and become a serious contender in the AFC North. The division is tough, no doubt about it, with teams like the Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals constantly vying for supremacy. But the Browns have the talent and the potential. They've invested heavily in their roster, and now it's about putting it all together. The quarterback situation is a big part of that puzzle. If Sanders can develop quickly once he's healthy, he could be a wild card. But for now, the focus is on managing his injury and seeing how the veteran options perform. Looking back at the recent history of the Browns, it's clear that the team has been marked by resilience and patience. Fans have endured some tough seasons and some frustrating moments, but there's always been hope that better days are ahead. The organization's patience with developing young players like Sanders, even if they're not immediate starters, shows a long-term vision. They're trying to build a sustainable contender, not just a team that flashes brilliance for a season or two. And that's what makes this injury so pivotal. It's a test of the team's patience and their ability to develop talent over time. In the end, Browns fans should remain optimistic. The preseason performance of Sanders was promising, and despite the setback with his oblique injury, there's still plenty of hope for his future. The coaching staff and management are well aware of the talent he possesses, and once he's fully recovered, he could very well be a key piece in Cleveland's quest for a Super Bowl. But of course, patience is key. The NFL is unpredictable, and injuries are part of the game. What's important now is how the Browns handle this situation, how they develop their current roster, and how they prepare for the season ahead. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.